Hey y'all, it's Nene. Please excuse any gum chewing in this video. In today's video, I'm going to be making a household favorite of mine, specifically the boiled pork belly. And for this night, I decided to add some white rice and broccolini for the side. I did something different this video and took y'all with me to get the pork belly. I like to get my pork belly from my local 99 Ranch Asian market just because I can always find a pork belly for the low there. When I'm picking my packs, I specifically like a pack that has a nice meat to fat ratio. It's just something that I prefer. I feel like it tastes better that way. Also, when I'm picking my packs, though, I do shop down to the cent. So I pick the packs that not only look right, but also make the most sense to me. And $12.48 for like close to 2 pounds of pork belly work fine for me. I got about 2 packs, which was just a little bit more than like 3 pounds, enough for dinner and leftovers. Anyways, I went ahead and chopped up my garlic cloves for my broccolini. I used about 4 to 5 cloves just because in some dishes, like my broccolini, I prefer a more vibrant taste of garlic. So that's why I went ahead and chopped it up. Though I do use minced garlic most of the time just because I don't like the sticky residue or the smell of the garlic on my hands. What I end up doing though is I will wash my hands just with some salt and soap. Though if that doesn't work, like if I then just went and chopped up hella garlic, what I'll end up doing is just adding a little like bleach to the soap and using that to just get the smell and the residue off my hands. I did dice it up. At first I was just like sliced or, chopping it, slicing it, whatever. But I did want some smaller pieces just because I was using a little bit more broccoli than normal. Or broccolini than normal because, again, I was trying to make enough for leftovers. Once I went ahead and chopped that off, I did set that off to the side because I was only using it for the broccolini. So I set that off to the little bowl in the side. But speaking of this broccolini, let me preface by saying I'm used to like creepy crawlers and produce because I do have a small urban garden. I'll show you guys my garden in another video. It's just she under construction right now. I'm trying to get her nice and cute. But anyways, I'm used to them. I also get my produce sometimes from the farmer's market. And, with fresh food comes fresh crawlers and insects and stuff. So I picked this back because it looked all nice. As I'm going through it, cutting off the leaves, cutting down the stems, I'm seeing some bug activity, seeing some spider webs or whatever. But I ain't seen no bug yet, so I ain't tripping too hard. Minding my business, cutting down the stems, not seeing nothing until I seen something. And when I reviewed the video, I realized that this little tiny green caterpillar had been there for a whole little minute. I feel like I even touched him and it just damn near messed up the whole meal. But I had to tighten up, kill him, regroup, just put him in a little wash and collect myself because this dinner was going to have to happen. Okay, it was one of my favorite dinners, so I had to get myself together. Anyways, though, minding my business and boom, there he go. Replay it real quick just to see how long he was sitting there, and he had dropped off like 2 or 3 pieces before that. But yeah, he had me shook up for a little minute, but I had to tighten up because it wasn't gonna work for me. Anyways, like I said, I had drenched him in my Trader Joe's fruit and vegetable wash. Well, not him, but the broccolini, just in case I had missed some of his friends and family or whatever. Everybody was finna, you had to go. Anyways, that was my pork belly. I had cubed that and cut that up off the screen and had that soaking in just a salt and vinegar brine for like 15 minutes. When I do boil this pork belly, I do also use some fresh onion. So I cut down a couple of slices of my yellow onion. Then I went ahead and used cumin, garlic powder, onion powder, sazon, turmeric, chili powder, and some black pepper to season up the meat. Washed the meat off and added it to the pot. Now, as far as how much water I add in, I do add in enough water initially to cover the meat because it is going to cook down. And of course, the liquids are going to reduce. And so during the process, I am going to add in like another cup or so. But I start off with probably like 2 to 3 cups. Again, just enough to cover the meat. Then I'm going to go ahead and add in my onions. What I do with these onions is I'll just use the onions to push down like any meat that's standing up or anything. Just, again, so all the meat is covered. Then I'm going to go ahead and add in my seasoning mix after I add in all the onions. Again, that was all the seasoning mix is just all the seasons I just showed y'all. Add that in and give that a stir so everything is nice and mixed up for the boiling process. The entire boil process takes about like 45 minutes to an hour. And it gets the meat nice and tender. The fat melts in your mouth. The meat is nice and soft, and it ends up being very good. And it's actually pretty versatile. You can use it for multiple dishes. It ends up smelling so good in the house though. Like it smells so nice and warm and just tasty. This is the process. It had boiled down some, added in just a little bit more water to create a nice gravy. And in the end, it looks and tastes so good. It's so soft. It's fork tender. Like it ends up working out well. I do in this process though, I am going to just take a couple pieces to the side to try to do a little something with, but not again. Anyways, this is my rice. I don't really need to tell you how to make no rice, but this is my little rice pot that we like to use in my house. It makes just the right amount for us. Anyways, what I was trying to do with the pork belly that I set off to the side is fry it up. I had tried to deep fry some pork belly before, and it got to popping too much. So this time I thought if I had used less oil, I had my little oil cover, I had added the meat in before I had heated up the pan, I thought the process wasn't going to be as scary. And baby, I was wrong. It was scary, and I'm not doing it again. They did come out good though, had a nice crisp to them and everything, but it's too scary for me. I don't got time to be getting popped and jumping around over some oil. Anyways, I went ahead and added in my garlic to my oil. I want to say it was like avocado or olive oil, the only two oils we really use in my household. Added that in and let that cook for a minute before I added in my broccolini. With my broccolini, again, I went ahead and seasoned it just with some salt and pepper. Very simple, but it was flavorful, just the right amount right amount of flavor for me. I do cook my broccolini and all my vegetables al dente because I cannot stand a soggy, like soft vegetable. I like my vegetables to have a little crunch to them. So yeah, I went ahead and cooked it for like 7 to 8 minutes. They ended up cooking just right for me. I definitely did give it a taste test though. I do taste my food during the cooking process just to make sure everything is coming out well. And it was. Again, you'll know it's done when it turns like a nice bright green color, if you can spot the difference. But cook it to your preference. If you like soggy, eat it soggy. Me, I don't. So I tasted it. Everything was tasting fine. Now for me though, because I like to cook so much, one thing I am trying to work on is my plating. So in the end of this video, which I see me doing, is trying to make sure I plate my food, nice for me. I put in about a scoop and a half of rice, and then I am going to add the pan-fried pork belly to one side, and then the boiled pork belly to another side, so when you're eating it, of course you can taste the difference, but again, it's just to work on presentation. Add in the boiled pork belly. That's that gravy I was telling y'all about. The gravy is so good. And the best part about the gravy is some of the meat cooks down into the gravy. So you got little shreds of pork belly meat that is on top of the rice. And it just all tastes so well. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and add in my broccolini as well at the end after I add on my gravy. Top that off, and this dinner was very good. Definitely a 10 out of 10. Had enough for seconds and leftovers. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like this video. Thank you so much.